How y'all doing? My name's Dylan Prescott. We're here at J-Tech. Today I'm going to go over a full system air check on this International. So first thing you're going to want to do, there's 6 tests. There are 6 parts of this test. We're going to do part 1 now. First thing you want to do is you're going to chalk your tires so you don't roll anywhere on you. You got to drain both tanks down to 0. So let's go ahead and do that. There you go. Get both of them going out there. Still here. I'm draining it. Alright, one tank's empty, this other one should be. Alright, so that tank's, it's still empty, they're still airing it. Alright, so there you go, now your tanks are empty. Now we're gonna hop up in the truck. We're checking for the ABS cutoff, that buzzer. You'll hear it in a second. Checking for the what's it called? The compressor cut out and the compressor cut in. So we're gonna go ahead and hop up here. Let me see about that. Alright, so there's your low air indicator light there. Obviously you're going to see both tanks are empty. And what we're going to do now is we're going to see how long it takes to build pressure up to 85 psi. So it should be within 40 seconds. It should go from 0 to 85 within about 40 seconds. And we're going to see about when the warning buzzer light cuts off. That should be around 60 psi. So it's on high idle, so let's go ahead and do that. Secondary tank to go off, waiting on the primary tank. There you go. Alright, so that was, around 40, 50 seconds. You might have a little leak somewhere, but alright, so that's that. We got the warning light to go on. So now, what we're going to do now is we're going to see the governor cutoff pressure for the compressor. Should be around 125 psi. So we're going to go ahead, keep it up at a high idle, build some pressure real quick, not that high, build some pressure real quick and see when it cuts off. Okay, so yeah, I mean that's it's kind of hard to tell what you have because it's goes from 120 straight to 150. So that's probably about 128, 29, 30. That's about 125, we'll call it. So that's good. Now you're gonna want to see is your governor cut in. That it should be within 30%. It shouldn't exceed a 30% psi or 30 psi, not 30%. A 30 psi loss. So basically, we'll just sit here, hit the brakes, lose some pressure in it. See when we're building pressure again. Okay, and as you can see, it's slowly building up pressure. So that was about a 30 psi loss. Like I said, it's kind of hard to tell with the gauge that goes 90 to 120 to 150. So that's part one of the test, and about to move on to part two. All right, now we're back for test two. Test two, we're going to check the air loss in the system with the vehicle off. So basically, what you want to do is you want to build the vehicle up to its full pressure. As you can see here, it's cut out. The governor cut out there. So what you want to do is make sure your parking brake's applied, which it is. You're going to shut off the vehicle, and you're basically going to watch your gauges for about 2 minutes, and you're going to note any pressure loss of 4 psi or more, and you have a leak somewhere. So now we sit and watch. This is just a single vehicle, so it's just a 4 psi drop. If this was a tractor trailer, it would be a 6 psi drop within the 2 minutes as allowed. And then if it was a tractor trailer, if it was a tractor with 2 trailers, it's an 8 psi drop within the 2 minutes. So it all varies as far as what you have connected, if it's just the tractor versus the tractor and a trailer. So sit here and watch it. And it doesn't look like it's leaking any now, which is good, but at the same time, it's very hard to say there's a 4 psi drop on a gauge that runs like this. So that's part of the issue. So obviously you're not going to notice a 4 psi drop necessarily. You will notice, a 5 to 10 psi drop. That needle will move substantially compared to 3 or 4 psi. It'll barely move. Oh, I wish I was an Oscar Mayer wiener. Okay, and yeah, it's looking good. I mean, your first tank here, I don't really see any loss. It might have dropped 1 or 2 psi, but not anything substantial. And then your second tank hasn't moved any, so we're good. When I come back, we're gonna go on to test 3. I'm back. This is test number 3. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna check for the modulators. You're gonna hear like a modulator solenoid. It's at each time. First one to go off is going to be the right front, left front, right rear, left rear. So to do that test, you go ahead and climb up on the step here. First thing you're going to do, you're going to shut off the vehicle, and you go ahead. Tires still chalked from the previous, tests like that. It's always good to have it doing that when you're doing this. So release the parking brake. I'm sorry. And like I said, you're going to listen for an audible chuff. That's what you're going to hear for. So go ahead and hit the brake, turn the key into the on position, and now you're going to hear your chuffs. It's just going to run through that a couple times. Okay, it's going to run through that a couple times, and it's just going to make sure the system's working. That's test number 3. So when we come back, we'll move on to test number 4. How y'all doing? We're back for test 4. It's a lot like test 2, but this time we're now have the parking brake released. So what you're going to want to do is, you go ahead and build up the pressure. Pressure's built up. So we'll go ahead and shut down the vehicle. Now we're going to watch for, there's going to be an initial drop. It's got to stabilize because we're releasing the parking brake, so it's sending air to the chambers to release that. So there's going to be an initial drop. So we wait for that to stabilize, which it looks like it has. And we're going to hold your foot on the brake, and you're going to watch for 2 minutes. And we're going to watch for a significant drop up to 4 psi. It's basically the spec across the board is 4 psi for single vehicles. Then you have 6 psi for the tractor with 1 trailer, 8 psi for the tractor with 2 trailers, and vice versa. I mean, if you were to have the tractor and 3 trailers, it would be 10 psi. You just add 2 psi per trailer. So we're gonna sit here and watch this right here. If this had drum brakes, we would also go back and we'd be checking the push rod, how far that pushes out on the brake chambers itself. But this is disc brake, so it's all internal, so you can't really check that. So basically just sit here and watch. It's a lot like test 2, just a lot of waiting. Just sitting here and waiting and just watching and waiting and watching and waiting and just watching and a little bit more waiting for 2 minutes. Like I said, you're really not going to see. Earlier on when we did test 2, the system was good, so it's very rare that you would see any kind of drop unless we blew something while we were doing that. But you're not going to be able to see a drop of just 4 or 5 psi on these gauges, obviously, because like I said, they don't really go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They go from 90 to 120, so that jumps what, 30 psi. So it's kind of hard to see just a minute drop. You'd have to look for something extravagant. And it's really not leaking down, so I'm gonna go ahead and call that. I mean, it's no sense in me wasting my time and yours watching 2 minutes of it leaking down and it's not leaking. So when I come back, we'll do test 5. Hi, and we're back. We're gonna do test 5, which is the manual operation of the parking brake. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna crank up the vehicle. I'm gonna leave the parking brake engaged, and I'm gonna try to go forward. If it doesn't go forward, obviously that means the parking brake's working and it's engaged. Then I'm gonna push the parking brake in and disengage it, and I'm attempt to go forward. As long as everything goes good, it should go forward. The parking brake will be disengaged. So. Parking brake's on. Alright, so she didn't go anywhere, so obviously the parking brake's working. Now we're going to go ahead and disengage the parking brake, same process. So there you go. There you go, so that's the process there. That's test 5, and we'll finish up with test 6. Alright, now I'm back for test 6. What we're going to do now, as you can hear my low pressure indicator light going off. What we're going to do now is the dual circuit. It's a dual circuit test. We're gonna make sure what we're gonna do is it's an integrity test. We drained the first tank, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna release the parking brake. The truck should roll back a little bit, and I'm just gonna hit the brakes and make sure everything still works. It should stop the vehicle. God forbid there's an emergency. You lose pressure in your first tank, the system should back up to where you can still stop the vehicle. So go ahead, release the brake, rolling back. Hit the brakes, all stop. That's good. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna crank the truck up, charge the system back up, and we're gonna drain the primary and do the same thing. All right, so we're back for the second part of test 6. So it's what it is we basically, we drained one tank, now we drain the other. We're gonna do the exact same test, just make sure the integrity is gonna hold up from one tank to the other. It should compensate for that tank being empty and stop the vehicle. So push the parking brake in, should start rolling backwards. Hit the brakes, it stopped. There you go. That's the test. Everything stopped right, so the integrity of the emergency system is still good. And that's this test. You have a great day.